think that's better. Have a little crisscross top on today. I got freckles, you guys. I was thinking of entering that freckles thing. You know, the people have freckles these days and they love the freckles and the gingers and the... When I was growing up, yeah, I have bona fide freckles, you guys. I've always had freckles. I've always had freckles. Let's see what's going on. Where are the people at? Where are the people? Now, I owed you guys alive. Decided to come through. And I have not done anything about Diddy. So I decided to come on here today and do a little Diddy. Do a little Diddy for you. You know. Go ahead and smash that like button. Smash the subscribe button on your way in. If you haven't already, ring the bell. Put this like this. There. Hi. So I have, you guys are on my phone. But I was looking on my computer to make sure we can hear me. And there. Okay, we can hear me. Mademoiselle is in the house. You should give us notice. I did. I posted that I was going live at 10, at 10:05, about 10 minutes ago. Is that enough notice? Do you mean notice? So, okay, what had happened, Mademoiselle, is what had happened is I got up and it's already 10:13 my time in California. And what is that? Got a little sleep on my eye. So there, now it's not there. Okay. So I had intended on going live ever since 7 o'clock this morning. And then I had to do my little challenge over on TikTok where my video is currently going a form of viral. Now, I know viral on TikTok is millions of views, but viral to me on TikTok is freaking 40,000 likes and 140 views on a video in 48 hours. So that was really good because it's the first time that I had a video do a lot over there in a while. Because if you know, then you know my history of the digital plantation experience in these cyber streets. Okay. And I definitely had a digital plantation experience on the TikTok before, as well as over here on the YouTube, as well as in the freaking Facebook. You know, when they be putting you in detention camp in cyberspace, that's a cyber plantation, digital plantation, I like to call it. So this is my second cup of coffee, my second cup of Cafe Bustelo, and the link is in the chat. So if you feel like coming up, I need more lipstick. If you feel like coming up, talking to me about Diddy, then I'm here. But I was kind of here to let you guys know, I don't care. Is it wrong that I don't give a fuck about the Diddy trial? Did I miss the facts that I was supposed to about the Diddy trial? Did I miss it somewhere? I think I missed it because everybody's talking about the Diddy trial. That's part of why I didn't talk about it over here. Plus, I feel like what he's doing is a lot of evil, ritualistic type shit that I did not want to lend my energy to at all because I'm an energy freak. Okay, that's what I am. He's the kind of freak that likes to watch people pee in his girlfriend's mouth. And I'm the kind of freak that's all about a high vibe and a clean energy with little negativity. And, I'm about an abundance vibe, right? And I just kind of felt like, for one, it's saturated. Everybody's talking about it. And for two, I don't give a fuck. But because some of my curvies give a fuck, I decided to go ahead and have this live today with the panel The freaking thingamabob is dropped. I'm going to pin it. I'm going to pin the message so that if you want to come up and give your thoughts on Diddy, like if you give a fuck, then you can gladly come share your thoughts here. But I personally don't give a fuck. And I'm going to tell you why I don't give a fuck. It's not just a indifferent, well, it is an indifferent type of thing. But I also feel like um, it's an energy pull to have so much of the melanated population's attention on this BS and fighting amongst ourselves over whether or not this freak is guilty or not. Why do you guys care? Did he pay you a check that cashed? I don't know. I don't know. And then, as a Black woman, why are we protecting Black men more than Black women? Diddy has hopefully two balls that are covered in hair, sagging low, or Botox tie. And hopefully, during his life, with his two balls in a world set up for people with two balls, hopefully he was doing the right thing. But it sounds like he might have not been doing the right thing. And because he wasn't doing the right thing, now he's caught up. Oh, and look, there's videos and there's footage and there's text messages and there's witnesses. And I still don't give a fuck because they want me to give a fuck. And when I say they, I'm talking about the they. Yeah, I'm talking about the impending the they of it all. Want me to give a fuck, and I refuse. I refuse to spin my wheels and have my energy caught up in a side in this here trial about Diddy, who I personally feel, as a Black human, a melanated person in the experience of life on this plane, in this time and space continuum, that they need me to be upset, to be energized behind this. Okay? When to me, what I give a fuck about more than Diddy is the Epstein thing. Let's start there. Let's start with the Epstein thing. How did we get the whole Epstein list after we had an Epstein trial, but we still not talking about that? But you want me to get about Diddy. Did you know that they're currently trying to set Harvey Weinstein free? But you want me to get about Diddy? I don't. Actually, I'd like to know why Harvey Weinstein's brother wasn't engulfed into his freaking stuff and that not turned into a RICO charge, because there is definitely an enterprise of casting agents, directors, producers, freaking photographers. Okay. Did Weinstein get up on a RICO charge for flying ladies in for casting couches? For plying them with alcohol and making them put things in their mouths and holes they didn't necessarily want there? Did that turn into a whole RICO federation for the public consumption? No, it didn't. So until you go in the order of revelation, which is Weinstein, Epstein, then Diddy, okay? You haven't even properly finished up these first two for me to give a fuck about Diddy. Okay? Okay? I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying that you haven't even finished with the Epstein list. We haven't even got a whole Epstein list. And then the poor girl got hit by a bus. That Goffrey girl that the allegedly Prince Andrew did when she was 12 or whatever. And she got hit by a bus recently and passed and is unalive now. She was the number one witness for the freaking Epstein shit. And she's out of here. And we still don't even know nothing about that. I don't give a fuck about the Diddy trial. It's obvious into some freaking debased type sexual debauchery behavior intended on being some type of ritualistic vampire energy, dom, sub, BDSM shits that I fuck about. I don't understand. I just don't understand why my participation is required for this Diddy trial. And then did you notice that they always have time for our RICO charges to be publicized on national TV? But these white people, I said it. I haven't heard about a RICO charge recently for a white person, and they definitely have the resources to have some RICO enterprise shit set up. Poor Cassie. Poor Cassie. And I don't give a fuck. She chose to stay there until she left. Yay! And then I don't give a fuck. She got $30 million from the settlement when she just said that he did all this stuff before. And now they're in this trial and she's saying he did it again. And they want me to care enough that it takes up my mental space away from me being creative, me being an ingenuitive being, and me focusing on the abundance and prosperity and overall mental health of me and my community. Instead, you want me like freaking wrapped up in the fucking lucid sex dreams of Diddy? I'm saying reclaim your time. Reclaim your time, reclaim your mind, because we should not be giving a fuck about Diddy like this. Every time something happens to the black person in our community, we get all the people, black Twitter, whatever, goes all get their panties in a bunch. When was the last time Diddy did anything for you or anybody in your house? For you to be spending time arguing with real life people about some bullshit Diddy did. Oh, they coming after this black man. Yeah, the black man has done some shit that's worth coming after. I'm not negating that, but I don't until they do the order. So he's number 3. And isn't it interesting that like they get through the whole case of R. Kelly and we're getting into the case of Diddy and the other people who have cases, we're not hearing nothing about that. They just get pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. The only people that get in a speedy trial in this piece is these Negroes. So I had notes. I was literally waiting for somebody to come up and play because you know how much I like playing. I love playing. So, but I'm not, nobody's coming. Let me get at these comments. They're over here. So let me see. Started from the bottom, now we're here. So I'm going to start from the top and work my way down. So the first person in the house was Mademoiselle. Thanks for coming through. Desert Hippo, thanks for coming through. How do you feel about the ethnical implications of hyper localized longitude guidance devices being used in military grade weapons guidance system? You know, that sounds like some drone shit that's about to go really wrong. And yeah, military grade weapon guidance system cannot ever mean anything good for civilians if it's being used within the civilian population. So yeah, that's an interesting question, but not the subject matter. So I need you to stay on subject, okay? Grand Rising, be more shorty. Yes, Grand Rising. Dina the Explorer, thanks for coming through. Yes, I read there are folks wearing free Diddy shirts. Yes, getting paid $20 an hour allegedly. I woke up to that news. They really want us to care. They really want it to look like black people give a fuck about this debauchery this freaking debaseness, this perversion. So that by proxy, they're saying that the Black people rally behind sexual perversion and abuse. That's the message we're sending. Because we always end up rallying behind the Cosbys and the R. Kellys and the Diddys. Right? And us rallying around them during their trials of debased sex perversion rituals that they like, screwing ladies while they're asleep, screwing ladies while they're awake against their will, screwing ladies they flew in and then beat. You know, it's just like all of this. And then everybody in our community is like, oh my God, he didn't do it or he did do it. Why are we rallying behind him? Like, just let him work it out on his own, bruh. Look, and when I get, because I'm going to get there, when I get to millionaire status, on my way to billionaire status, I'm not playing dice at your house party. I'm not playing freaking Russian roulette. I'm not like doing no freaking stupid drive-by shit. I will be leaving those types of things where they were. And I'll be going over here. Okay. I'm not trying to like get caught up once I get to a certain richness where I have to end up in court and have my fellow people try to take up for some bullshit that while I was doing it, I knew that shit was wrong. While he was whooping Cassie's ass in that hotel thing, he knew that shit was wrong, but he also knew that he had the hotel paid off so he wouldn't get in trouble for it. But now you in trouble, bro. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. I read there are folks. Yep. Be more shorty. I don't give up either because it's a distraction because the orange dude is getting ready to F the Black community. 100. No, he did not. I want Doodoo Dump to be charged and Dubai Diddy RICO charges and Weinstein also, right? Abercrombie and French guy. Yep, he's all the way home. He's all the way home. That's how you also know this shit is a distraction because the rules only apply to some. And by the mere fact that these rules and laws that they have are only implemented and applied specifically to certain people within the human race and our society should let you know that you need to not give a fuck. Because Abercrombie and Finch is home not giving a fuck. And no amount of us infighting, arguing amongst ourselves is going to help the system that's designed for this shit to give a fuck. And we can't do anything about his choices to be a pervert. It was his personal choice to be a pervert. You wake up every day with a personal choice to be a pervert or not. He woke up that day and decided he wanted to call somebody to have him piss in Cassie's mouth. And then Cassie opened her mouth and had the piss go in there. And then she decided the next day that she didn't want to necessarily do that again. Hey, you have a right to change your mind. And just because you said yes on Tuesday doesn't mean that when you say no on Friday, that it's not a no. Okay? If a wife can be great in a marriage by her husband and it's a criminal act because no on Friday means fucking no, then whatever happened to Cassie, and that also was criminal acts as far as I'm concerned. And a yes today doesn't mean a yes in perpetuity. Just because I said I wanted to try a cucumber in my ass on a Monday doesn't mean that I get fruit salad every fucking day. I'm just saying. Okay? Just because she had pee in her mouth one time doesn't mean that all the people get to come and pee in her mouth. That's nasty. They said a lot of people need to start being on the prep. I'm a married woman in a monogamous relationship for over 20 years. So I don't have to worry about the preps over here. But a prep is a new thing that's going around where it can prep you to not get the HIV and the AIDS and the stuff, okay? Because it's on the rise. It's on the rise. And did you know the fastest groups of STDs is freaking kids 15 to 35? Is it 15 to 30? No, 15. Let's do 15 to 25 because they do it in like a 10-year thing. So 15 to 25-year-olds are really getting it. And you know who the second group is, you guys? Seniors. Seniors. People over 65 are getting this shit. They're getting these young sugar babies. And these sugar babies are dirty. They didn't know they were supposed to soak them in bleach first. And because when you're 65, you don't have to worry about getting pregnant. You probably let them raw, and then you end up needing the damn prep. Or like that 64-year-old lady, and she had to call, and she's like, well, I'm pregnant. How do you do that? I don't know, but she got pregnant. Anyway, that was a sidebar. But yeah, Abercrombie and Finch's home. Diddy does need to be under a jail, but we don't need to give a fuck about how he gets there. Why is it a whole Rico circus for this fool to get in jail? Why is it a whole Rico circus for this fool to get in jail? That's the question we should be asking ourselves. That's wild. Money and privilege is a huge issue. Yep. Put Dubai Diddy, doo-doo dump, and Weinstein in Rikers, right? I missed you too, Shelves. Thanks for coming through. There is a concerted effort to bring rich black men down, knowing white men do worse. Exactly. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I have notes also, like I said, but I feel like part of why they know why they do worse is, I mean, we get a lot of the debauchery playbook from certain race, okay? And look, if you can build tunnels and have the bloody mattresses all throughout under New York, then maybe you made Diddy feel like he could have underground tunnels under his house too for sex trafficking. I don't know. What's good for a goose is good for a gander. Usually, if one person can do it in a society, then a lot of people get the idea that they can do that shit too in a society. And I just want to also know is why isn't his teacher on trial? Because Diddy didn't learn how to do all this stuff by himself. Allegedly, there's somebody with the initials CD that allegedly took this person under their wing and taught them how to do all this stuff that they're doing. And yep, allegedly. And that person is just sitting all pretty. We ain't never heard none about him. And we know that they had a whole Grammy party with a dead body in the fucking Beverly Hills Hotel doing another ritual suck of energy. While he was having the Grammys party upstairs, Shaka Khan was one of the only people that was like, I'm not going to that shit with her body downstairs. You guys are sick. If you were paying attention, I was talking about when Whitney Houston died on the night of the Grammys in the Beverly Hills Hotel, and Clive Davis still had a party upstairs while her body was downstairs. Because in Hollywood, in these circles, if you've been paying attention to any of the movies that come on your screen or any of the series or anything, then you would know that there's so many cult, religion, sex things in Hollywood specifically. The whole shit was built on it. Disney, the guy from Disney, he used to love to go to the Thelema. Yep. Disney. He used to love going to sex rituals. Yep. There's a whole series about it. Yep. The guy who ended up going to space, he used to hang out with them, and then they used to go up to the Devil's Gulch here in California. Yep. And they were trying to open the gateway to let the devil come through. You guys did what? And you guys want me to give a fuck about Diddy? They were trying to loose Satan in the world, and you want me to give a fuck about Diddy? It's a lot going on, you guys. It's a lot. Allegedly, Diddy got it from his mama. She would have those types of parties back in the day. What are you saying? I'm talking about CD. I had never heard nothing about Diddy's mom having these types of parties. Really? Yep, 100%. 100%. The orange dude was the last white person with RICO charges. Shaking Go Small's Combs is a madam. Oh, really? The keyboard lawyer and jury is hilarious, right? Oh no, it's not a race thing. We got to stop that mentality. Yeah, it's not a total race thing. It's just, this is the haves and the have-nots thing. And they are using race to prop up as the face of debauchery and criminal activity. Okay? I'm going to get to it. It's in my notes. It's a race thing and it's not. So it is, but it's not. But that's part of why I refuse to give a fuck, because I can make it a race thing. You know me here on LRGA Curves. It's all leads back to racism. Right, Corey. We don't give a fuck about Diddy. I'm ready to hear from Mary, Just Blige, and Lil Kim. Hey, do you think they're going to get called? Watch this. I believe they are under gag order. Oh, I'm hearing like Aubrey O'Day and Albie Sure aren't going to be able to testify, as it turns out. Yeah. Okay, Corey. So I did rally behind Michael Jackson also. I just didn't buy it. I still don't buy it to this day. Michael loved kids. He protected children's energy. To this day, I do not believe that he was trying to do anything to those little boys. Never. If anything, he was trying to protect them, because he was like, if your parents is willing to sell you to me, then I better buy you, because I won't do nothing to you. But who knows what the next freak will do to you? Now go play with Bozo or Bongo. What was the name of his monkey? Peter Nygard still haven't been arrested, right? Woody Allen. Can we talk about motherfucking Woody Allen? I just was listening to the tapes of Woody Allen when Mia Farrow that's his wife, was Mia, right? When Mia found out that he was boning their daughter and touching Dylan inappropriately, their minor children. Did anything ever happen to Woody Allen? No, they still play Woody Allen movies. He still gets all the royalties he wants. And he was allowed to marry his minor daughter, but they want me to give a fuck about Diddy. Soon Ling. Woody Allen married Soon Ling or some shit like that. And that was his adopted daughter. And he also touched Dylan, their other kid. And then the lady, when she was crying in the thing, the wife of Woody Allen was crying because she said she was going around holding her vagina. So I took her to the doctor, Woody. I didn't know you were doing all that stuff to her. And now they have to report it to authorities. How could you do that, Woody? There was a tape floating around this week about that whole thing. They never did shit to Woody Allen. Bubbles. That was the damn monkey. Thanks, Corey. Senior community homes. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Be more shorty. The senior community homes are running rampant with STIs and STDs. It's not like the old days. These people, and I don't know, maybe their fingers don't work good and they don't know about rubbers, but a rubber used to exist a long time ago. Or maybe the thing slides off. I don't know what a circulation has to be to keep a rubber on an old dick, but yeah, they need to wrap this shit up. They're going to need to get a rec coordinator. Most of the senior places have a recreation coordinator, right? They're going to need to get a sex creation coordinator in there to show the ladies how to put a freaking rubber on a banana all over again. People think all the bad diseases are no longer there because they don't talk about it. Yeah, that's true, but they are there. Look, they got us off of the the other STDs and got us all focused on vid so much. Yes, Clive Davis is funding his demon seed Dubai Diddy. That's a comment I just read. And that's the CD I was talking about. I bet all the skeletons going to come out of Quincy Jones. Yep, he passed. Exactly. But Diana Ross is still alive. So I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Look, if Quincy Jones and the Gordon guy and all of those, what if? Look, I don't know what to say. Let's just say this Diddy story this isn't the first time this happened. This types of stuff has been going on. He didn't get these ideas just poof out of his head. Like this is I'm feeling like this is kind of learned behavior. Plus you have enough money to try it. So, but I definitely feel like CD had a lot to do with it. Yeah, smash the like button. California cuties in the house. Right on. Thanks for coming through. Now, California cutie, do you have any thoughts about Diddy? Diddy. And I dropped the link. Anybody can come up. Um, I want to come up, but it's only saying cell phones. Oh, darn. Sorry. Then I'm trying to go for my phone, but it's not letting me copy the link. Damn. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Sorry about that, mademoiselle. Um, that's weird. I didn't know that was a thing because it lets me send the link from my phone, but it doesn't let me add people from my laptop. So I went live from my phone so I could do it, but now it's not letting the people. Smokey Robinson is a freak too. Hmm. The problem is they're all abusers. They think they can do bigger, better, and get it caught up. Yep, the bigger you are, the harder they fall. Michael Jackson wanted to propose to Diana because they were dating. Yeah. Oh, Mia Farrow. Yep. Made Mia Farrow a crazy lady. It sure did. I mean, can you imagine being like the Hollywood couple and having all your little adopted kids of every race, and then come to find out that the dude that you're married to is a full-on fucking pedophile, screwing your kids, touching them inappropriately so bad that your little 2-year-old, 3-year-old is walking around all day holding her twat and nothing happens to the dude, and you end up in crazy town hardly getting any more working jobs. That's the day I'm talking about. The they let Woody off and they want me to give a fuck about Diddy. I'm sorry, but I kind of care more about what happens to a little kid than what happens to a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 22-year-old, 23-year-old. Because by that time you had a little say in it, perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But when you're a minor child, like under 18, and your stepdad, well, adopted dad, it's not even your stepdad, he adopted those kids and they all had his name. Okay. And then he went and screwed them and married them so they can't testify against his ass. And he's still walking around with her right now today. And let's talk about like some other rock stars. Everybody knows the story is about the rock star whose parents gave him their minor kid to take over state line and go on tours with them. Didn't like one of the Tyler, isn't that man's last name Tyler? And he was fully given a 16-year-old by a mom to get on to go on tour with them. There's so many stories about that in the rock and roll world where you take a minor from their child, from their parents, ply them with alcohol and drugs, put them in an environment beyond their comprehension, are actively having sex with them, and they're on a tour bus crossing state lines. That's fucking sex trafficking, but nobody ever got that Tyler dude caught up, or Rolling Stone caught up, or a fucking Beatle caught up. But they want me to give a fuck about Diddy. You see where I'm going with this so far? And kind of where this indifference is coming from. Go ahead and double tap the screen so it can like the video up there. I appreciate you 13 people being in here, but it's showing me that I have 8 likes. And I'd like some more likes. Thank you. Okay. Miss Kiki's in the house. Right on. The problem is the abusers think they can do this shit. Right. Diana was trying to protect him from his abusive father. Yeah, Joe. Now, Joe was having sex with LaToya. She doesn't know if he was having sex with Reba and Janet. Joe was a wicked one, too. Joe Jackson, very wicked. Just got out of the shower. Oh, you have a client at noon. Yeah, I hope you can call in. But it's saying you have to do it from your phone. So I hope you can too, but I haven't gotten any requests yet. Yes, Steven Tyler. He's hideous. And had that little kid in his fucking tour bus, talks about it, sings about it, and nobody does shit about it. But they want me to give a fuck about Diddy. Don't call me ridiculous because you didn't hear it. Please, Quincy Jones revealed the story and rewrite the song, right? This was in the 80s when he was just grown. Quincy Jones and Dirty Diana was about Diana Ross, and their relationship. He had to tell Michael to rewrite it because it was too vulgar. Dirty Diana, And I was just going to say it. I wonder if Diana was Cassie or Kim of her day. Was Diana the Cassie or the Kim Porter of her day? To her, Diddy, Gordy, or Quincy? These are patterns that have been tested, tried, and true as time. This shit has been going on, you guys. Why wasn't one of the other presidents? They used to fly Marilyn Monroe to the freaking White House to screw the president, and allegedly they had her inebriated all the time too. Allegedly, they did the same shit to freaking Britney Spears, Jane Mansfield, insert starlet here. And there is a group of old debauchery perverts who were trafficking her, drugging her, trying to have sex with her against her will. It's crazy. Oh look, Corey's arguing with somebody. Don't call me ridiculous because you didn't hear it. And then Corey's like, it's not true. A majority of the song's music back in the day had so many hidden messages. Diana and Quincy never together. I'll call Mary J. Blige to the stand. Well, it stops now. That's what I'm saying. It stops now. It has to stop now because I'm not participating. I feel like a lot of other people have also checked out. Let me just go over some of these notes because I don't even really want to give it a lot more energy. Like, I literally don't care. Literally. And to prove it, this is the first and last time we're talking about it here on LRGA Curves. Because I don't care. Okay? So some of my notes say that if a wife can be great and it's criminal, then Cassie's participation on Tuesday doesn't make her grape on Friday null and void. Okay? It's still a criminal act. And I honestly don't care. And I'm a tad bit pissed that this is even a newsy type of highlighted, news cycle because it is a minority position given a majority of the headline times, allows for the harmful stereotype being further programmed that minorities are a major problem. You see it? Or did you follow that? So Diddy, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Michael Jackson, insert black dude here, Smokey Robinson. They're going to come for Tyler one day, Tyler Perry. I mean, insert rich black person here. Okay. And they're from a minority race because really brown people are the majority in the world. They have us mind fucked to believe that they're in the majority when in actuality, they are the minority en masse. Okay. So, but in this country specifically, they have us believing that we're the minority, and they've actually tried to make it so. So, how are you taking somebody that's 13% of an overall population, yet they're always in the news cycle as a problem, as a villain, as a criminal, as a pervert, as somebody who's like feels too uppity above the law. They're they're too big for their britches. They need to get brought down. And I've even heard that being said in this too, that Diddy was too big for, like, he needed to get humbled and stuff like that. Now that's all fine and well, but you don't like really hear people saying that about other races. They're not looking at the people from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon saying their two need to be brought down. They're not looking at the people from the other, acting world saying they need to be brought down. So there's also this ideal within the community of that you can only get so far before you're uppity and you're thinking too big and too much of yourself and da 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 da. And then you need to get brought down to what? Like, you work to get up there, but now you're too big for us, so you need to get down to reality. I think that's what they're trying to say. But to make a villain, a major villain from a minority person is part of the harmful stereotypes being televised en masse, right? So now, if all you see are minorities as the criminal, then when you're interacting with minorities in your community, subconsciously they're a criminal to you. Subconsciously they're a pervert to you. Subconsciously they're like, into like making ladies get pee in their mouth. Subconsciously, and this is the second time pee is coming up because damn, R. Kelly had a thing for peeing on the little girls too, right? So now it's like really perverted and nasty, right? But you keep bringing it up on a major platform, like this is the poster child for it, but it's only a minority. You see what I'm saying? So that also plays into what is being done. And it's harmful to our community, honestly. There's no RICO charges or headlines for the self-proclaimed majority. Where are they? The whole time the 34 counts was on trial, they didn't want to talk about it. 34 whole counts. But now we got to talk about all this Diddy stuff. Nobody wanted to. It was a circus. It was a witch hunt. It was all this kind of stuff. But where are all the RICO charges for the majority? Where are their RICO charges? Okay. When I say their, that I'm talking about the they. They're currently trying to free Harvey Weinstein. But why wasn't Harvey's brother brought up on charges and brought into the RICO enterprise of it? Because from what I understand, Harvey has a brother. And Weinstein movies all still get played. I think Mademoiselle is coming up. I said ad. Hello? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yay! Up, Mademoiselle.
Oh my gosh. I just came because, I love you so much. Can you hear me?
I love you too.
Okay. No, you continue.
Oh, okay. Right on, right on. So yeah, I'm sitting up here going ranting about how I feel like they use people from the minority population to create a majority purview of a criminal, like, of negativity to be associated with minorities, but it's still a majority problem because you're the fucking majority, right? But if you keep on propping up and highlighting minorities that do the same kind of stuff, then the mere fact that it's more televised makes it more of an issue for minorities. I don't know. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I really hope I'm communicating it effectively. Basically, I'm not pleased with them trying to make me give a fuck about this stuff, Mademoiselle. And I don't think that we, as people on a journey, should be having a who ride. Who ride is the term from Oakland where it means like ride for like you're like, let's go get this bitch because you hurt my friend. Like who ride on him, right? Like you're down with them. I'm not down with Diddy. I'm not down with having the lady have to get pee in her mouth. I'm not down with her having to have sex for 7 days with people who have like, I don't know. And then they're talking about penises being pinkies. And now I'm confused. I'm like, so Puff Diddy has a pinky sized penis and all these ladies are still lining up to get abused for 10 years. I'm like, I don't understand. I usually think like dickmatizing comes from having a forearm in your pants, but I don't know. Maybe the drugs and riches was enough to make the ladies stay around. I'm not sure. But sexual deviancy and debauchery is not only for minorities. Um, and where's Clivey D's freaking charges? He just keeps getting walked around everywhere, and he doesn't have any charges. So why are we talking to his protege, which technically Diddy is? Why? Why? I don't understand. Why in the Hollywood legends of other sex cults, nobody from the Thelema sex cult is getting on RICO charges? And I'm positive somebody from that those rituals woke up the next day and they were like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm pretty sure that happened, you know? And it's just a classic move to show us as the criminals, but we get to overlook that there's 34 counts in the White House and he's a majority, but we get to overlook all that. And I just am done having them allocate my brain space to shit I don't give about. That's where I was. Yeah. Miss Kiki says, I'm not down with Diddy. The link just bring us to your channel, Curves.
Yeah, I had to go through a lot of stuff. I had to like somehow find that link, copy it to my email, send it to myself, and then I clicked on my phone to open it because it only can be opened on the phone.
That is so crazy. I didn't know. It just says copy link, but it did give me the option to copy it. And it said send to my person, or it allowed me to send it and it was going to email it to it. So maybe it does want me to email this out. Thanks
I
for letting
don't know.
me know things. But I
But
appreciate it.
I kind of I kind of have a different take.
Well, I'd love to hear it.
I don't know if you guys are gonna like me after this, but
I'm going to love you.
I'm
I
I
need,
don't think so. I don't think you will, but I actually like of course is a disgusting like we know this. But honestly, I don't believe the grooming thing. I don't believe that at 19 you don't know right from wrong. I think her going back and forth, I just I don't know. She to me what's missing from this is accountability. When are some people going to be held accountable for the decisions that they make?
yeah.
You know, there's always a red flag when you're with the guy, and the first time it's like that's the red flag. This is not a good person. This is not a good man. And to kind of continually go back and forth makes me think the only reason why is because she didn't want to go back to Connecticut. I know where she's from,
Uh-huh.
and that's not a good area. Like it's I'm not going to say it's not a good area. It's I think it's New London. It's like by this area. And you know, she had a choice. That's basically she had a choice. But she continually went back again over and over and over and over and over again. Like where is the accountability for some people? And if he's on trial, she should be there too. I'm just saying, I mean, and I'm actually being like because I'm on your channel, but
Yeah.
I'm down with Unbreakable Strong Woman. She sees the game too.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I mean, who lets a man do that to them? Who lets someone pee in their mouth? Who lets 18 men, who allows that?
Right.
Who allows, where is the account, I mean, it's actually insane to me that a woman would allow that and that enough would not be enough. Like the first time he even asked you to do a freak off, she should have ran.
Yeah.
She should have like packed her bags, went back to or wherever. But anyone to even that person doesn't love you.
Right.
And I think she only stayed with him because, of course, the lifestyle. The guy had a house in Miami. I didn't know he had a house in Ibiza in Spain. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
like the party island in Spain. But she liked the lifestyle. That's why she kept going back and forth, back and forth, back. Who goes back and forth? He's beating you. He's making you sleep with 18 men. I mean, you're literally getting defiled every time you're with this person.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, I mean, everybody, like, if I was in high school and we heard about a girl like this, those girls have a name, but this is like the ultimate. I mean, I'm not gonna, because I'm gonna be respectful on your channel, but she is disgusting. She's gross.
Yeah.
She's just as gross as him. All
Right.
of them are disgusting. And so I'm not gonna act like this person, because to me, I've watched Lifetime, and I know you guys are gonna laugh, but I've watched Lifetime movies. I mean, a real victim. Have you seen? These are based on true stories. They're held in underground bunkers. They're held in annexes with brick walls where nobody can hear them or try to save them. They are chained to a bed. There was one movie, he chained her to a bed.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not going to say every story is different, you know, but when do you not? I mean, for me, I can't call her a victim because she had a choice. Everybody, we all have a choice. Good
Hmm.
or bad, we have a choice. Either I'm going to go leave this disgusting human being, go back to Connecticut, go to wherever and be broke. Whatever, you have a choice.
Right.
Okay, so it is insane how many people are, to me, giving her so much grace and acting like she was such a victim. I mean,
Right.
I've literally seen movies where women were held in dog kennels. Like, I, I mean, I don't know. It's just weird to me that at some point we're all going to be held account for what we do, what we say, what I mean, she participated.
Right.
I mean, the text messages saying, I want to do this, I want to do it. You're a victim.
Ex-
You're a victim. But yet, this is what you said. I mean, a man is going to treat you like that, a hoe. If you act like one, that's how he's going to treat you.
Right.
And so it is insane to me that so many people are saying how is she a victim?
Right.
You got the text messages. Her participating, her calling escorts. And I don't get the RICO either charge. I mean, all these people were escorts and prostitutes. That's their job.
Right.
Nobody forced her. Nobody forced any of them to do anything, but they did it because he was Diddy.
Hmm.
He was Diddy. They liked that lifestyle. They liked the mansions. They liked the pool. They liked all of that. And so I'm still trying to understand how this is even possible that they can put him for life. And it's true. Like I said, you should listen to Unbreakable Star. I mean, honestly, it's and I already but she just reiterated everything that I'm thinking. I'm like, and then sores in your mouth. I mean, when is enough for you? When is enough? Do you have an ST? I mean, all that, whatever you did, when was it enough? Does she I mean, I'm not going to get into specifics, but does she have her? I mean, when was enough for you to know, girl? Um, you you're disgusting. And you're letting this guy like literally just make you look like the biggest. I mean, people don't need to agree with me. I really don't actually care because it's true. At 19, you know right from wrong. If some guy talked to me at 16 saying, oh, baby, come to my house, I got a party going on, and there's like 5, 10 freaking men there, are you crazy? I'm running.
Right.
I'm running. Are you crazy?
Exactly.
It's called gangbang. It's called everything that's disgusting and evil. I am running.
I get it. I get it, mademoiselle. And that's what I'm saying. Like all of this, they want me to care so much. And I do feel though that when she never said no, just because she participated on Tuesday doesn't make her no valid, doesn't make her no void on Friday. It doesn't mean that. Just because you say yes doesn't mean yes all the time. So she did finally have a day where it was too much. And she has not, that we know of, gone back since that day. And now she has been with the suit and she has moved on in her life and she's not doing that anymore. So I,
I heard she went back after what was a skillet? I don't know. I don't know all
no, I'm
the
saying,
events like the timing or whatever, but she she repeatedly went back.
yeah. Well, and that
And
also,
I'm sorry if you let 18 men like I mean, you let anything fly. Like, I don't know. I don't believe like and I don't believe in women that come out 30 years later either. Like,
yeah,
you know what? To me, those kind of people do do everybody else who may encounter this monster a disservice.
right.
If you run upon a monster, it is actually your duty to report them so you can
Yes,
stop the madness.
right. I agree with that. I
I'm
agree with
sorry, this 30-year with Bill Cosby, them coming out 30 years later, what are you doing? Are you, if he roofied you or whatever, qualicued, whatever the drug was back then, what are you doing? Why
you
are
see
you waiting 30 years later to tell on someone that did this stuff to you?
exactly. And then Lorraine is saying she did end up going back to him after she dated the guy who's currently her husband. So she did go back.
She
Mm,
did. I'm telling you, she went back and forth, back and forth. Then I was watching Mems, and Callie came up, and it's like these excuses that are being made for this girl.
yeah,
So I guess his crew came and got her, came to the house, and it's like, why didn't you call the police then? If they're
right.
threatening you, why didn't you call the police then? What are you? You're playing games. This is not this kind of victim. I'm sorry. And I actually don't believe she's a victim. I don't care. People can hate me. I don't care. Okay. You
Hmm.
don't keep going back and forth to an abuser, a rapist, what you just don't do it.
Right.
And there has to be some accountability because we all are going to be held accountable for what we said, what we did, what we participated, what we allowed. Okay. And she's going to have to answer for that. You literally let 18 men, but you participated in these disgusting parties.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I agree. There's totally, it won't let you up. I'm sorry, Corey. Uh, Here, let me see if I can, because I have your email, Corey. So maybe I can go here.
Corey hates me because I know Corey's through some stuff. I'm not talking about that kind of situation. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about somebody who literally over a 10-year span went back and forth and now she claims she's a victim. All this stuff happened to her, but she's the victim? There are real victims out there. And this to me is disgusting that so many people have so much sympathy for what I would call a hoe. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
Well,
And
and
I
you
know
know,
Corey's
like,
not going to agree with me. I love Corey. But while she's trying to get on, I just want to say I love Corey. I love me some Corey. Because she's going to get at me. She's probably going to get at me, but I love me some Corey. But the point of the matter is, I don't have sympathy for her. I don't have sympathy for Cassie. We already know Diddy is disgusting. It's unfortunate because that was the music that we listened to back in my college days. He's disgusting. We already know there's many men that are disgusting. But for you to permit someone to do these things to you, you're in the same boat as him. And it's shocking that she's able to get away with this. She called, she looked for the escorts, she
yeah.
looked for the
So she
prostitutes.
participated in her own violation.
I'm sorry, she did. Of course she did.
Yeah.
She had it. Okay, and what victim gets paid? I heard she got paid 250,000. I don't know if that's true.
I
I
thought
heard she,
she said 30 million from the settlement.
no, I'm talking about when she worked with Diddy. He was
Corey,
paying her. He was
Mademoiselle,
paying her,
I'm
huh?
just Corey and Allie are trying to come up. I think it's one at a time. So if you have them
Okay.
back and you're up here, then
I'll go.
when you're complete, then as soon as she drops down, you guys try the link, and whoever comes up next, it'll let you come. But she can finish
All
off.
I know is all I know is I heard that she got a salary. Somebody said 250,000. I don't know if that's true. I heard she had an apartment. What victim? Like I said, I watched the Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
What victim
So you,
gets those
oh,
things?
it sounds like she's the kind of victim. It sounds like she's the kind of victim that Erica Jane is. Not really.
I don't think Tom did all that to Erica. I don't think Erica would let any of that happen. But
Right.
I could be wrong. But anyways, I'm gonna go. But yeah, I think she's disgusting, just like Diddy. They all should be on trial. They all should be tried. And to be honest, again, I never heard of it being a crime to be a freak. So I'm still waiting for this Rico charge in sex trafficking with escorts and prostitutes, where that's their job.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, I'll be listening in the background. Take it
I
easy.
appreciate you, Mademoiselle. Thanks for coming up. Happy Sunday.
Okay. Bye.
Peace. Okay, you guys. Whoever wants to come up next, go ahead and click the link. And once she clears, it should. Let me see. Does it? Oh, there it goes. So, okay, Corey's here. It looks like it says people join the stream. So, okay,
Hi.
Corey's here. There you are. Hey, Corey, what's good? What are your thoughts on here?
Uh, just because victimization doesn't fit into your little box doesn't mean she's not a victim. And
Okay,
when you are DV'd constantly, you go back and you go forth. You go back and you go forth. And when you finally leave is the most dangerous time
uh huh.
because you can get unalived. Speaking as a DV survivor and a SA survivor.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was in no situation like Cassie. I'm not claiming to be, but what I'm saying is there is a psychology about this type of activity.
right,
There is a psychology about S trafficking survivors. There is a whole psychology out there that normal people don't get. Yeah, you participate because you don't want to be unalived. Her boyfriend, when she left one time, her boyfriend's car was blown up. Hello? Yeah, they went and got her. Yeah, they went and got her. Why? Because she's his property.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's part of the whole psychosis of certain types of TV. Mariah Carey couldn't escape either. She tried to with the brat. No, they came and got her.
Yeah.
Armed men.
Right.
And
So
no, you don't have a frontal lobe until you're 25. So no, 19-year-olds don't know what's right and wrong, really.
so you're kind of saying that I'm going to use a loose translation here. So the same way that an elephant, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
trained by putting a chain around its foot and
Mm-hmm.
making it notice the chain and getting it used to only being able to go a certain distance on that chain, but you
Mm-hmm.
can remove the chain and the elephant will still only go that certain distance. So
Mm-hmm.
that same kind of conditioning can happen in a DV situation. Where,
Yes.
oh, that's a deep way to put it. Okay, continue.
And no, she's not disgusting. She is a victim. She is a victim that women have, she's been victimized in the way that women have been victimized throughout history.
Mm-hmm.
And calling her a hoe is part of the patriarchy, first of all. Women have been victimized and used as sex slaves and objects like this throughout history.
Right. I was
History.
um like Marilyn Monroe. Like there's a bevy of Hollywood
Yes.
hits.
Yes. And Marilyn Monroe was started when she was a kid
Yeah.
because she was in her mom has schizophrenia and she was in a foster home most of her life. And it started in the foster home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying none of this is right. I'm not I can't stand Diddy, never could.
Right.
Always knew he was evil. But what I'm saying is Marilyn Monroe was a victim as well. She turned to medicate herself.
Right.
That's how she unalived herself or was unalived.
Mm-hmm.
However you believe the conspiracy.
And that was part of why I mentioned those things earlier. Is this is tried and this whole sad situation is part of the machine of entertainment,
Mm.
and that's part of why I don't particularly care about Diddy's, and I also
Mhm.
unfortunately don't particularly care about Cassie by proxy, and I'm I'm not sure why this is in a news cycle when there is so much stuff the orange guy is doing, when there are
Distraction.
other things that we could be focusing on
Hmm.
as people.
Hmm.
Specifically, for us to lend our energy to this is a waste. And that's why I don't get fucking particular because I know that they want to pull my attention over here so that I'm not really engaged in what could be serving me. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this whole thing about luxury fashion and the companies that were started in the 1800s where there was no mass production. Y'all need to stop that. That's also a distraction as well.
And it could be true that they might have got started in the way back when. And
And now they do this half production somewhere else and finish it
so,
somewhere. Yeah. That is definitely true. But that's not the point. Who cares? You want the fake bags from China? Go buy the fake bags from China. I don't care.
was
That's a
that
distraction of
on the was
what
there
40, huh?
I said, was there a comment in the chat or this is another thought?
No, this is just a thought. I'm
Okay.
streaming right now so I can hurry up and get off. So I think Allie wants to come up.
How's your mom?
So
How's grandma?
huh? Oh, they're great. I'm real close to buying my new home and just just real close. And
Okay.
I'm supposed to be packing and I'm not doing anything.
Okay. It
I got
all
to be out soon. Got to be out of my mom's house soon. So I just want to. I'm streaming. That just pissed me off. I don't feel any ill will to you, Mademoiselle. I'm just gonna look at you side eye from now on. But we cool.
I mean, why would it? Oh, so that's the other part of all of this. That why I wanted to even do this is because
Mhm.
so it's okay to not give a fuck. It's okay to not think the same. It's okay
Mhm.
to add Moselle's experience to lend
Mhm.
to the thoughts that she's having, just as for
Mhm.
Survivor. You have a whole different take. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
not fuck with Mademoiselle or look at her cross-eyed
No,
because
I'm just still gonna look at her side eye. I'm sorry.
you
That's
know what
just
I'm
me.
saying? Like
That's just me.
I want all of us to allow the space to not get caught up.
Yeah. Thanks, so Shorty. No, I don't have no ill will toward her. I still love her dearly, but just like I love my sister, I still look at her side eye.
So what about what Mademoiselle said is the side eye part? Like
That
the
she's not a victim.
uh,
That she wanted it. That she liked it. But if you don't want to get banged in the mouth or dragged through the streets by your hair, of course you'll say, "Baby, I love it. I love it a lot, and I like it. I want it. I want it. I want it more." Because in her mind, which has broken, she thinks that's how he shows love.
right,
And evidently, she's got some daddy issues because she thought that was love. And any girl with a capable father, that's a person we fall in love with first and model our partners on, was screwed up too. So you can't really think that every person out there doing these kinds of things really want to do it.
right.
Some do, about 50% do, 50% don't. You can't blanket every person.
And then also, if her only other sexual experience was the guy that Diddy stole her from,
What
then
does she know?
yeah, did she know this wasn't normal? Did she know, just like how when kids are molested, if they don't know that's not happening in everybody's house, then you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah.
And let me just say this, mademoiselle. I was teamed up on at 12 by 8 and 10-year-old while I was asleep. And I didn't tell my mother because I was afraid. And I had to continuously go back to that same person's house over and over and over again. So, yes, I did do it. I did go back. Does that make me a hoe too? That's why I'm looking you side eye.
Oh. Well, but you didn't go and call escorts after, so of course she's not calling you a hoe.
Patty Hearst was kidnapped. They didn't pay the money. So, guess what? She did what she could do to survive and joined up with the people.
I remember that.
Mm,
Hearst Castle, yep.
mm.
Here in
Gotta
California.
think about it.
Well, and even still, so okay, so about this whole choice thing. So now I'm gonna take it to Married to Medicine, some place that I usually like to go. Um, Sweet and sour. I
Hmm.
felt like her after seeing how Quad was treated and seeing how he was treating her on that trip. And so I'm
Hmm.
calling her Stockholm syndrome and all kind of stuff. Like she's obviously is okay with him treating women like that. Therefore, she's going to be okay with her getting treated like that. So she, to me, isn't a victim already because she said that it was okay for Quad to get treated like that. Do you think that that's a fair assessment in that situation then?
Well, if she doesn't feel like she's being victimized, then that's her. Like I said, it's 50%. It's 50-50. You
Right.
got 50% of women like being treated like like Quad was.
Uh huh.
You got 50% of women who don't.
Right.
It's 50-50. It's all about life experiences and what you've been shown. And at 19, you don't have a fully formed frontal lobe.
You don't. That's true too.
So
And
how can you make accurate decisions?
exactly, the hypothalamus isn't fully developed until age 25, and that is where your decision making and all that learning happens, which is
Mm.
why I homeschool because if your hypothalamus is under stress and you're learning and
Mhm.
then it makes it harder for you to not only retain, but it makes it harder for you to like, learn the stuff. So having particularly minority children in high stressful situations at school, it can make them seem like they're remedial, but it's only because their hypothalamus is stressed about the environment. Bam.
There you go.
Yeah. So
There
Emmanuel,
you go.
hey, hey. Yeah, Emmanuel, do you have any thoughts about Diddy? I was having an open panel, but only one person can come up at a time. Um,
Hi, nephew. I'm gonna go ahead and drop so you can bring somebody up.
I appreciate you, and I
Love
appreciate
you more.
you, and I love that you're a survivor, and
Thank you.
have these words of encouragement for other women who feel like being survivors, because not all people feel like they need to be a survivor yet until maybe 10 years of getting pee in your mouth. So that's also where I am with Cassie. Because you said you were down with pee in your mouth on Tuesday in 2020 doesn't mean that on Friday in 2024 that piss in your mouth was okay when you said no. That's
Mm-hmm.
and so
Oh,
just because she played and was getting the everybody at one point, she's and is making actions and steps that align with her new thought process. And I'm
mm-hmm.
supporting that, but I still don't give a fuck.
Yep. All right. I'll be in the chat.
Tell Brendan
All
hello.
right. All right. Love you more.
Says no, I have no thoughts on the case. Yes, right? I don't even want to read about it either, Emmanuel. I refuse to give a F. The people want me to give a F. I feel like they're trying to force feed me a distraction. Allie from Miami, right on. Come on up, darling. Hey, I like your bonnet, girl.
I know. Sorry. How you doing today?
I am excellente. I appreciate for you to come up and share your thoughts. Talking about no other places if it triggers you, Corey. Yeah, that's understandable. California abuse spectrum. Yes, yes. Abuse spectrum. I like that. I like verbiage. Abuse spectrum. That's, you can't really tell someone it's your opinion. Yeah, it's only our opinion. All of Covey. We all have assholes and think. you know. So, Allie.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, on. What are your thoughts, darling?
My thoughts is, I kind of touched on the case, I think, on Friday when it was on with reality. And
Yeah.
I do see both Mademoiselle and Corey's side about the situation and where they're coming from. For me, when it comes to Cassie, I know she was 19 when she met Diddy. I think it didn't become physical till she was 21. And when you think about when you're at that age and you see this big, huge, powerful guy, because at that time, who didn't know who Puff Daddy P. Diddy was? And he's showing this interest in you at 19, 20, 21. You're going to think that, hey, I'm this woman, I'm this person. You get consumed in that world. So maybe in the beginning, she felt like this is what she wanted to do, but not realizing how used she's being. And then as time went on, she felt like I had to do these things for him because I want to win his favor. I want to win his attention, not realizing that I'm being coerced. And I think some of it does come from a deeper void of insecurity and longing of acceptance.
Hmm.
And that's why later on, when she kind of came to and realized this is not healthy. And, because I dip into like in the Reddit spaces when people go in for relationships advice, it doesn't start off with the freakness, beatings right away. It starts very small. It's always those small little things. It like you see like these abusers will nip at you little by little in the long game that you by the time you realize you're in it, you're so deep into it. Like you learn to be conditioned to ignore the red flags. You learn to be conditioned to ignore the abuse, that it becomes normal, you know but at the same time you're thinking, this is what I want to do. And I feel like it comes from, I know some people say, why do we need to watch this? I feel it is important as a society when it comes to preparing ourselves and our children on these are the monsters that are out here. And you have to have a very strong relationship with the young people in your life that they feel comfortable coming to you when something is not wrong. I just think that it was so bad that she felt ashamed. She felt embarrassed. She felt like she couldn't go to anybody when she needed help.
Yeah.
And a lot of time that's what happens. They felt like I couldn't go to anyone. I couldn't tell anyone. No one would believe me. No one would care. Then that's why these abusers get away with it for so long. It's important for us to let our children know you could always come to me when you need help. This type of love is not love. And I think we should take this much out of it because these monsters are always going to be there. That's it's good and bad. Good and bad. They're always going to be there. And they're just waiting for the opportunity. And they'll give you there. It's like the guy with the scary white van with the candy and the puppies and everything, say, hey little kids, you want to come? We tell our kids that that's not okay, but do we tell our kids that the friend down the street that acting funny is not okay, that the coach does rubbing up on you a little too much is not okay, the boyfriend that kind of makes you say side comments about you and your weight and make you do things that you really don't want to do, but you have to do it because you need to prove how much is you love him is not okay. Those are the things we need to teach our children.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I get it. And
I
then I know one thing is what I heard. Not only he was paying her, he was paying the family. I
pay
mean, taking
her
care of them, huh?
paying her family.
Yeah, I heard. I don't know how true it is, but like they'll like pay off their house, give them little spiff backs. I mean, it's the same thing with R. Kelly. Like the family somehow gets something out of it as if, oh, he can't be bad. He helped pay my mortgage off. This is a good man. That's how these people get you. Because remember, for us, getting a house paid off is a lot to us. To Diddy, that's like a trip to a restaurant. It's nothing for him. They
Yeah.
use these things to control people. Remember, these abusers, these groomers don't groom just their initial victims. They start with the people around them. I think I was watching, I think it was Oprah or something,
Uh-huh.
and he was talking about this guy. I think he was in prison, and he's a P word. And he said, how do you get your victim? He said, I don't start with the kids. I start with the adults. I check to see the adults that's around those children. And as many he sees there's a weak link, he
Yeah.
goes right for that. And then he has like goes around with the adults, making him feel like, oh, he's a good guy. He's a nice guy. I'm not the problem. And then when all the adults guard is put down, then he strikes for the actual victim. By
Wow.
that time, it's already too late. So it's never just the one on one. It's possible that she's been working on her family for so long
Uh-huh.
that by the time Cassie was in it, she couldn't even go to her parents to say, this guy is doing this thing to me. How could he? He's such a nice guy. He's a great guy. He's helping us out. We trust him. That's how a lot of these people get away with it. Same
Yeah.
thing with R. Kelly. Look how R. Kelly was convincing these parents to allow their children to be with him
Right.
without them around. Who does that?
Exactly. I agree with you that bringing that the Gaza Sudan situation could be exactly what they want. Um, and they want to highlight this as a way to, further the community when obviously genocide. That's one thing that happened in the Diddy trial. So I agree. I agree. Yeah. I don't know. I'm also trying to uh check myself on my compassion level. Like, so I'm saying give a F about this, and I'm sad that happened. I don't give, you know what I'm saying? But I also feel like Mademoiselle has an excellent point when accountability is huge. And I use reality television, which has an accountability theme, right? So where is the accountability self in this situation? I feel
There,
did her accountability when she finally tapped out, no matter after I hear the feedback too, no matter after how many years it's happened. I think it's on your side, Allie.
I
Uh,
think so, but I turned off my whole computer.
I don't know because I only have us on my phone and I didn't hear it till you got up here. Can you hear me now? It's not happening now. Did you mute us or something? Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I just feel like I want to keep my empathy and compassion intact without sharing my energy with this process. And how I can do that is by continuing to disengage. Like I said, this is the first and only time I'm going to talk about it over here on Larger Curves. And, but I just felt like I might have some people that wanted to talk about these things because, you know, it's a really big topic right now. And else,
Oh, am I here? I'm still here.
yeah, you're still here. Did you want to share anything else?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with accountability, I always feel like everybody has to have accountability for everything that they do. Can Cassie be 100% washed and say, I'm 100% a victim? I have no share to what happened. I don't think so. It's a complicated question, but no, she has to live with the fact that this is out there forever. Her children, it's going to be possible that her children is going to find out about this one day, and she has to be prepared for that. She has to realize that her parents are now going to know all this thing that was happening. That's embarrassing. Can you imagine? It may not be like, going to rest, but on a social level, imagine you're going to be this woman at the PTA that everybody knew about this what happened between her and Diddy.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Right?
Her children's going to have to know this is what happened. That's embarrassing. So that's where the accountability would be, but she has to own that
Oh,
and face that in her own way. So I don't think she's ever going to get scarf free. She's going to have to live with this her whole life. Even with her substance issue, she has to constantly live with this for the rest of her life. It's just unfortunate.
yeah. Yeah. And that's the PSA, you guys, is for one, you're gonna have to live with it for the rest of your life. And for two, there might be a digital record of this shit. You gotta be careful these days. You gotta be careful. I'm from Polaroid days. All the and those eventually fade. So I'm saying, but from this digital age, it's gonna be up there in perpetuity for your kids, your grandkids, and all of those other people to see. So that is that I feel like is a big takeaway from this whole thing. Definitely. Definitely. Now, do you think that they're doing a good job on the case? Like, I'm not following it. Like I said, I don't give a F. So I'm not following it or nothing. But have you been following it at all to know if you feel like they're proving what they said they need to prove? Because I'm hearing a lot, and I was
Yeah.
saying over at House the other day that I feel like they introduced Cassie so that they could introduce all the evidence that she's mentioning. Because once it gets brought up in court, then you can talk about it. And once it gets talked about, then now it's part of the evidence against the person. So even though she already made her $30 million from her settlement against him for all the things we know he did, now she's in court. Names Britney Spears, freaking Kim Kardashian. She's dropping the Epstein list, basically. and saying that they were there to witness these various crimes or that happened to her. And I don't know. I was wondering, how can you have an enterprise by yourself? But then there's an attorney Simone in these YouTube streets that's excellent. And they were mentioning that the mere fact that it's like Sean Diddy Combs Enterprises makes him an enterprise. So I was like, okay. So there's one check for you. And then the sex trafficking, flying her anywhere and then abusing her is sex trafficking, whether or not she was into it. Um, that it makes it abuse. But if she was a willing participant as a sub, because somebody on Mim's channel brought that up last night, that it seemed like they had a whole sub dom BDSM relationship. And if that's the case, then there's a whole other something going on that we have no idea about. And are you really a victim if you were a sub and you didn't use the safe word? Because the safe word is the real no. No doesn't mean no in BDSM. Tomato means no. You know what I mean? So that opens up a whole new layer of what are we witnessing.
I mean, I one thing is I think with Cassie, I think that's what's confusing everybody is they bring in Cassie so quick, but we have to remember she's heavily pregnant. She's like in her eighth, going into her ninth month. The worst thing they would want is
Uh,
she delivers and then she's not able to testify because she's on leave, medical leave.
that's part
So
of
for
their
them, it's like we
real
have, yeah.
quick. Part of their tactic is, so they had her on the witness list. She's
Mhm.
8 pregnant when they started trial. Now she's 8.5 months pregnant. Now they're, because they're into what, week 2. First they had the jury selection. Now it's week 2. And now if she was only supposed to have a couple of days of talking, and then she wasn't supposed to have to get called anymore. Because if she goes trial, if she goes into labor before they finish questioning Diddy's side, is saying, oh, we're going to need to ask her some more questions on Monday because Friday was supposed to be her last day of availability. So now they're trying to drag her into court some more this coming week, where she's 8 weeks in 8 months and 3 weeks. So she could
Mhm.
literally
Mhm.
go into labor any day. And
Yeah.
now they're questioning her harshly too, trying to invoke an emotional labor response. And so people are looking at them very cross-eyed right now because it seems like they're trying to get a mistrial. What do you think about that?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think that what I understand is Diddy's usually the defense always wants a quick and speedy trial. They ask for a quick and speedy trial. I have to shout out Attorney Simone because she's really into this.
It's
And
excellent.
she did mention they wanted a quick and speedy trial. Now that everything has changed, they see the evidence, et cetera, et cetera. Now they want to drag their foot and not have a speedy trial. They want more time to be ready. But it's like, dude, you asked for this, because they really want a mistrial or a hung jury or something,
Yeah.
so he could get off. But my thing is, I feel like Dawn, I think like Cassie went in and was saying, hey, this is what happened, how this happened. They established the ST, they established some of the things. They're not really worrying about the DV of it all. But I feel like that's why Dawn, they had to rush Dawn on Friday to get her on the stand because the defense was so determined to get her not to testify. So to me, I
Oh,
think Dawn's testimony is way more crucial than Cassie's. Cassie's just laying the foundation because Dawn actually said, I've seen the abuse. I've seen this. I've seen what they've done. This man had trapped me in a car and I couldn't get out to leave. Whatever Dawn has to say is going to be more devastating compared to Cassie. Cassie is the foundation, while Dawn and all the other one, yeah, while Dawn and the other one will lay out more things about how this is really, really there.
right.
Yes. And then
Right.
here's another thing with the enterprise. Like, it's really crazy to me, and I'm still trying to understand. How can Diddy sit there and convince a hotel to go into their security and erase the security tape to cover from his misdeeds? Because the hotel is supposed to report any type of crimes, but instead they were compliant into covering the crime. Hence why they felt like this was an enterprise. All these different people were in on it, helping this man continue to do criminal adjacent like behavior. Hence why Cassie got the $10 million from the Continental Hotel, 20 from Diddy and 10 from them, because they were compliant on covering the tapes.
And isn't it crazy that when we did first see those tapes come out, we didn't even see the security guard in those damn tapes.
No.
And all of a sudden there was a security guard and a person. That's too much. So she literally didn't have any place to go. For anybody, that's one thing. So you literally are a victim. If you tried to leave and he whipped your ass, you were a victim that time for sure. Because he beat her.
And one thing is that day where she got dragged and beat, she did end up leaving. She did end up going to a friend's house. They did call the police, but she was too scared to say who did it to her. So you know what I'm saying, which is understandable with DV cases. That's totally understandable. They will go as far as going to the police, but when it comes time to actually naming the aggressor, they're like, I don't feel comfortable naming them, because if this man is able to convince a hotel who's supposed to be a mandatory reporter, as far as I'm concerned, to go in and hide evidence, how you not know they will do the same thing with the police? We've known people in these type of levels paying off the police, having like a police officer or a detective or a sergeant in their payroll to help them commit these crimes. Or maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I watch too much movies.
Okay, let's real quick digression. My mic was off, you guys. I was sitting over here talking about the Nottoway Plantation barbecue. Oh my goodness. Can we like switch gears for a minute? And the Nottoway barbecue that was so beautiful. Did you guys get some hot dogs out and grill them over your phone when you saw the pictures of the plantation burning to the ground? I I made a freaking I made a I made a what's it called? Can you guys hear me okay? I made a TikTok with the roof is on fire. We don't need no water. Let the burn. Remember? And then I ended it with a picture of the slaves who used to do sugar saying, "We don't need no water, let it burn." It was cute. But I really like that. Um, so Allie, thanks for coming up. Anybody else want to come up before we end the live? It looks like I'm almost to, yeah, s'mores, anyone? S'mores. California Cutie, you only have 10 minutes before your hair appointment. So I don't know if you can come up, but what are your thoughts, California Cutie? Do you care? Do you give about this whole Diddy thing? Uh, yeah. Yes, I love you guys. Thanks for coming through. Uh, yeah, that's puzzling when people go back after abuse. But there are two things actually working on Cassie. So she was on drugs. So she was an addict. So her addiction could have taken her back to the place that had the drugs. Maybe she didn't go back for Diddy. Maybe she was just going back for the access to drugs because allegedly he had told all the people in LA to not give her any fucking drugs. And if you're a dope fiend that can't get any crack except for from one crackhead, then you're going to go back to the crackhead and take your chances. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right, Emmanuel. Pray before you leave and ask your God to, cover you in everything because the enemy is busy. Yeah, he was able to rent out the whole floor. So why would she go to the fucking police and say he did this when he just rented out a whole floor and had security at the hotel on payroll? I wouldn't have trusted it either. Yeah, they're trying to put her into labor. They're trying to force her into labor by putting her through all of this. It's disgusting. But now she got $30 million. So yes, a lot. Someone always has screenshots. Yes. PSA, ladies. Okay. So a couple of things Cassie is teaching ladies. There's a couple of lessons for the ladies in the back who anyone wants to take a note. If you're young, dumb, and full of cum, don't get addicted to. Try not to get on drugs also, because that's a quadfecta instead of a trifecta. I'm not sure. That's a quadruple effect of a cycle that will be very hard to break. Okay. Another PSA from Cassie is if he says he's going to make you a star, but hasn't made no music in 6 months, you might need to leave him. He's probably never going to make you a star, even if he keeps saying he's going to make you a star. Okay. So what else can we learn from Cassie? If you're dating an older gentleman and he happens to have a micro penis, but he needs to call other people to satisfy you so that then he's satisfied by watching you, that could be a red flag of a lifestyle that you might not want to be involved in long term, thus a signal to leave. You never want to be the one to make a phone call for the escorts. You don't want that in your phone. You do never want to send a text after something you say you didn't like and say that you loved it. You never want to do that because it can be confusing to an audience. You never want to go back after you finally got away. Okay. You might just want to cold turkey, knock it out, try to get in a rehab or something so that you don't have to go back to the person that supplied you with all the drugs that you're addicted to. Okay. You never want to do that. You never want to laugh at you never want to laugh at the current girlfriend of the guy that you're a side chick to, who he's abusing in your face because your turn will be next. You never want to do that. Nope, you never want to do that. Now, these are all just things that I heard that Cassie may have endured or allegedly endured during her time with the guy as a young woman in a relationship with an older man. If your hypothalamus isn't fully formed, you might not want to start doing drugs hardcore because it won't fully form. You'll be arrested at that development of when you started doing all the drugs. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of PSAs. There's a lot of PSAs that Tootsie Roll. Tootsie Roll. Yeah, if you can't Tootsie Roll real good on a Tootsie Roll. Now, I know not everybody likes a forearm. I like a forearm. That's the only way you can dickmatize me is a forearm, okay? I'm not getting dickmatized by this. I'm not getting dickmatized by this. I have no idea how this, even with $1 million, could have made you stay for 10 years. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But I guess they say money can buy you love because you can go get a big old dildo or a sex worker. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Too soon. Anyway, you guys, I've been on here for 104 minutes, going on 5. I'm going to go ahead and stop this live. Say that for the people in the back, right? Read their Yelp reviews on the man. Yes. And listen to the last lady. If she says you're not getting a prize, maybe research the prize you're not getting. Okay. Okay, because just because they fine on the outside doesn't mean they're not the devil on the inside. And I'm going to end it there. Okay, Curvy Crew, thanks for coming through. Remember to smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring my bell. Ring my bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video, because I didn't do a whole lot of notice today. But if you would have had your bell rung, you would have got the little notice that I did do that I was going to be on in 10 minutes. So go ahead and ring the bell, smash the buttons. I love you guys. Remember, there's enough to go. Oh, and then that's the creepy part. I didn't mean to creep anybody out. But yesterday they said that he was in court on Friday. They said Diddy was in court writing down aggressive notes to ask of Cassie, and then doing air hearts. He's losing his marbles, you guys. Anyway, you guys, I love you. There's enough to go around. Go get some. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.